Yo, what's up? Welcome inside the opening line, Elite Fantasy Sports Network, Corey and Benny. How was your night last night, Benny, my man?
Not too bad overall. Alex Bregman homering and the Houston Astros winning made me a little bit of money, so that was good. I was on the over in the Colorado-Arizona game. Arizona did not do their part. Colorado put up 6. Can't be mad about that. Arizona only put up 2, so we missed that one. Missed that one by a couple runs, which is never a good thing, so that was a loss. But overall, it was a pretty good night. DFS was not a really good night, though. I was not on the right teams. I had too much of that Arizona Diamondback offense there, and they didn't put up enough runs.
No, they didn't really get nothing done. I was a solid night last night. That WNBA, the under didn't come. The full game under didn't come in, but the first half under came in. So I was able to get that one. Caught the Astros also on that team total on the Astros. So that one went down pretty well. What else did we have last night?
It wasn't really a big night. Like it kind of sucks right now. We're waiting for the NBA to come around. Really, all we have is baseball. I think there's some soccer this afternoon. Like
Arsenal and Chelsea play this afternoon at 3.
Yeah, that'll be a good game. They're both good teams. I'm more of a Chelsea supporter. Big fan of their best player, Eden Hazard. He's a guy from Belgium, which is apparently somewhere back in my family's history. We're from Belgium, so you got to root for the fellow countrymen when you get.
There you go. Shout out to Belgium. What else was I on last night? I tell you what ended up beating me up last night. Like I said, we had solid nights with just about everything. Well, we didn't lose no money last night, but the kicker last night was Masahiro Tanaka, bro. You know what I'm saying? That one right there. That one. And the Yankees tried to battle their way back in that game yesterday, but Tanaka gives up those 4 runs in the first inning. The Yankees battle back, end up falling 5-4. Not a controversial play, but the 9th inning had a umpire review, and the Atlanta Braves also last night were not able to come through for me. So my 2 losses were both 5-4.
I don't get Tanaka sometimes, man. Like, this is what happens to him sometimes is he just has, like, bad innings, right? And that was a horrible inning. I mean, the first 3 guys got on. The 4th guy hit a home run. Next thing you know, you just sat down. You went to the bathroom. You just sat down with a drink. You poured yourself a drink. You open up the page. You look at the score. It's like, holy crap, how are the Yankees down 4-0 already?
Bill Parcells, the great line that Bill Parcells says was – before as soon as they play the national anthem.
So you know what's funny? Tanaka has done this like numerous times in his career. Like people forget about it. Tanaka was on the mound the day Derek Jeter's number got retired at the stadium.
Yeah.
So you went from literally the highest of the highs with Jeter getting retired, the place going nuts, people crying, screaming, yelling. You had all the old timers back. You had all the guys from Tino Martinez and Andy Pettit and Mariano Vera, all those guys back in the stadium when they retired his number. Tanaka takes the mound against Houston, gives up 3 home runs in the first inning. The Yankees are down 6-0, 5 minutes after the ceremony.
I know, son.
And the whole place went from being rocking and rolling, crazy electric to that is a dormouse for 2 innings, and then by the 4th inning, nobody was there anymore.
Yeah, you see, he took the air out the joint, and that's exactly what he did last night. But I was able to listen. The Yankees were able to fight back, so it didn't ruin the night. And I still somehow I had the Yankees under the first 5 under at 5.5. The Yankees didn't hit. You know what I mean? So that ended up working out for me. So I ended up cashing that. And then when the Yankees went on their run, I almost cashed the win. You know what I'm saying? I was almost able to catch it on the back end too, but wasn't able to get that lucky right there. And the Braves got Steven Strasburg last night as he went. I believe he pitched into the 7th inning, and he was dominant last night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, listen, there's a lot of people that don't like Steven Strasburg, including a bunch of my fellow fellow employees over here at Guru. I've always been a Strasburg fan. The big thing with Strasburg, which is one thing that I always give him when we talk, he doesn't pitch well when there's it's not even high heat. It's really high humidity, as DC was saying on the live stream yesterday. He has trouble gripping the ball when the humidity's up there. It slips out of his hands. He doesn't get his grip right, which means that his pitches aren't moving the way he needs them to move in order for him to pitch the way he pitches. With that being said, though, he's in the midst of arguably one of his best years since, he first burst onto the scene into the league. I mean, this was a guy that was like a can't-miss prospect when he was in college. Like, went to San Diego State, played for Tony Gwynn, was actually his college baseball coach. And I mean, since that point, he's had a lot of ups and downs in his careers. But right now, Strasburg looks really, really good. So.
Mainly with injuries being the main thing about his career. I was in the newsroom the night Steven Strasburg made his debut, and I had I was the one that cut up all 14 home runs. I mean, not home runs, strikeouts when he made his major league debut. So that's when I was first getting started in this career, and I would have won. My name would have been on it. I would give the credit to somebody else. You know what I'm saying? But Steven Strasburg almost won the NFBC auction championship. If it was not for a Steven Strasburg outing in Colorado, which we started to bench him before the week started. We circled this one right here, like this could be a trouble spot. And Strasburg, I never forget, it ended up being a party. It was a party at the FNTSY rooftop before the studio and all that stuff was open. You know what I'm saying? And I remember in that specific night, we ended up like putting him in versus the Rockies. And like you said, by the time they sung the national anthem, it was like, damn. And that one, and looking back through the season, that if we don't start him right there, we end up taking down the whole thing, the overall for the auction championship. But Steven Strasburg, no beef with him. He came through big time last night for the Nationals. So you can't win them all, Benny. You know what I'm saying? That's but we cannot win them all. And
we try and we want to, but
because if you can win them all, you can have a big. I was going to ask you if you had a lean for this Chelsea and Arsenal thing today.
Like I said, I'm a little bit. I took the boost on Chelsea winning with Hazard scoring a goal.
Okay,
one of the ones they're offering over on DraftKings, but not for a lot of money. Like I said, these are two good teams. They know each other well. They have played each other a whole bunch of times this year, so. It's not really like I could tell you, yeah, this team's definitely going to win or that team's definitely going to win. Like, it really is pretty much a toss-up. So, like I said, I'm leaning the Chelsea side. I'm doing it, hoping Hazard gets that first goal. But, yeah, that's about it.
I had a ladies' French Open parlay that I got up to about 173, but I didn't know they started playing at 5 o'clock in the morning. So
yeah, they start that early. DraftKings was offering some kind of bonus with the DraftKings Sportsbook where, like, you bet on – I forget what it was. Like, you bet in-game. They give you free money to bet in-game on tennis or something. But, again, they don't tell you that they start at, like, 5 in the morning and it ends at, like, 2 in the afternoon. So you got to be willing to bet early if you want to get in on that stuff.
I think it's one person. It's one gal I know, Kiki Burton's. But she's like minus 550. But I think Osaka, Sloane, and I believe Serena have already gone. Serena's not going to win this thing, right? You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
The key about it is you got to catch her. You got to catch the match that she loses. So I guess when she loses, the match where she's going to be in the most trouble, the way the bookmakers are trying to trick you is she'll probably – Whenever you see her at somewhere around minus 250, minus 210, play the other side then, because that's probably the match that she's going to end up losing. I told you I ever told you the story? I was in Vegas when she lost the U.S. Open semifinal.
You have money on it?
No, I did not. And Benny, I was going to play it. I legit was going to go play it. But we was out. We was, obviously it's Las Vegas, so we went all night the night before, got up early, was drinking beer for breakfast, you know what I'm saying? Outside in that Vegas heat, you know what I mean? And I remember coming back, walking past the sports book, it was like, I should go throw $25 on it now, you know what I mean? Nah, fuck it, you know what I'm saying? I went upstairs, fucking crashed, you know what I mean? I woke up, opened up my phone, upset. Serena Williams loses, and I'm like, and I'm in Vegas, Benny. I'm in Vegas.
And I mean, again, at that point in time, everything against her was probably what, plus 500, plus 800.
No, she was on. I think she was going for the Serena Slam. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. So whoever was playing her, you were probably getting plus 500.
It was amazing. It was amazing. It was amazing odds on it. You know what I mean? It'd been a nice little something to take back. And then the next year when I was in Vegas, she lost again. But I don't think she was as big as odds. But I'm not saying that she's washed up. But you know, they got this. There's some young girls out there now, Benny, that got that work for her.
Well, you know what it is? It's not even so much washed up, right? It's just that she set the bar so high. Anything short of her basically winning everything, you're like, oh man, like she lost. Like, you know, you tell me like Serena wins yesterday, I'm not even blinking an eye. Like, we're just gonna go on and talk about whatever the next topic is. You know what I mean? That's how you know how good you are when you lose and it's like major news. It's not that she sucks. It's not like she's getting knocked out in the first round when she loses. I mean, it's just, you know, she's not dominating tennis like she did at one point in her career. I mean, you know, she just got married. She just had a kid. Like, you know, she's exactly. Her way back into it. Like, I ain't mad at her. She's the best I've seen in my lifetime. So.
Exactly. Yeah, she's probably the greatest female athlete we'll ever see, to be honest with you, Benny. You know what I'm saying? But these young girls out there now, Sloane Stephens and Naomi Osaka, that, you know, they 21 years old. They ain't got no kids. You know what I'm saying?
And also, I mean, they got the hunger that she had 10 years ago. You know, they're out there trying to prove their name and make their money and make their mark on the world.
Yeah.
You know, Serena could never win. Again, whether she does or she doesn't, if she never won another Grand Slam for the rest of her life, we'd all still be talking about her as probably the greatest women's tennis player ever.
And the other gals is like, them sneaker contracts is going to dry up soon, Serena. We need to pass one of those joints off.
Well, she's married to the Google guy, right? So, I mean,
exactly.
Money is no longer an issue in her household at this point.
It probably never really was after she started playing. But, yeah, the dude she married, is he like a prince or something like that?
No, he's the – one of the founders of Google, if I'm not mistaken, or like one of the big shots over there. So I mean, the guy's literally worth, you know, what's Google worth now? Close to $1 trillion. So the guy's probably worth a couple billion, like a couple $100 billion, like maybe $100 billion. So like I said, he may not be a prince, but if he wanted to buy a country and make himself a prince, he's got that kind of thing.
I'm sure he very well could do it. Neither one of us here are big ice hockey or big puck heads. You know what I'm saying? But I will tell you that the Boston Bruins are probably going to win this series, and they're at home tonight, and they're minus 160. So that can be something that you can use as a parlay piece, or you can drop the 160 or the 165 now yourself as they take on the St. Louis Blues. It really just looks like it's a matter of time until, you know, Boston cashes in. Do you know that since 2000, the city of Boston has taken place in 18 championships?
I do know that. And you know why I know that? Because Boston people are fucking obnoxious. And they have to say that. So it is what it is. But listen, I mean, they've had some historic runs in a couple different sports right now. I mean, obviously the cheating Patriots.
Yep.
It is what it is. You can say whatever you want with them. It's one of the greatest dynasties in sports history. It's the greatest dynasty, arguably the greatest dynasty in my lifetime. Rivals the Yankees of the 90s and early 2000s, to be honest. You know, you look at the Boston Red Sox. I mean, you know, they did a lot of the good things there, and they won a couple ships over the seasons. You know, the Boston Celtics have kind of been the one who've been slacking, but they got enough championships in their past as well.
Kevin Garnett, you know what I'm saying? They got one. Kevin Garnett.
Got one. They got the one. Yeah. You know, I mean, and they do have. You know, I mean, it's been a good run for the city of Boston. What can you say? You know, it kind of sucks. We're sitting here in New York with all these crappy owners that we bitch about all the damn time. You know, this should be New York getting some championships here right now, but we haven't seen one in basketball in a really long time. I mean, the Rangers had that one a couple years ago to break that long streak for them. Really, outside of the, you know, Giants beating the Patriots a couple times and the Yankees, it's been kind of dry in this area.
Yeah, no doubt. And I tell New York sports fans all the time, the only team out here that you can really count on is the Yankees, because the rest of them still trying to figure it out. But yeah, you can hop on that minus 160 across the board. 165 is where I'm seeing it come up at. No NBA today, no basketball today, no NBA today. They get started tomorrow. Benny, have you done your research yet?
No, we'll talk about it tomorrow because I'll break it all down. So last night I was doing baseball because I got to do some baseball articles for today. Tomorrow I don't have a baseball article to write, so tonight I'm gonna go through the past games, even maybe some of the past games from past seasons, and see what we can take out of that. Might even have to go back to that 73 and 9 team and kind of figure out what happened in those years and how the Warriors were playing, because it kind of looks like that's the team we're going to be seeing out there tonight. Or tomorrow night, I should say.
I can agree with you on that one. That is today is Wednesday already. That is what it looks like. As Kevin Durant is making the trip, but Kevin Durant already ruled out for Game 1. And that number has not moved. Still sitting on the Toronto Raptors as a 1-point favorite in that one. Tonight in WNBA, you got the Lynx and the Seattle Storm. The total is at 167. I would take the under on that one right there, and I probably would catch the 2 points with the Seattle Storm. If you want to get in on that, you know what I mean, a little bit of WNBA action. Those WNBA unders, they're just not scoring. Last night, they got over it on, like, the last 2 plays of the game. They got over the full Game 1, but that's with them having, like, a 47-point quarter, which is kind of few and far between right there. And then here we go, Benny. We got the baseball for the day. Starting out with a 12:35 start with Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. I'm never going to bet on Pittsburgh. Can I bet on Cincinnati?
We could bet on the over. We could bet on the over all the time when these two teams are playing in Cincinnati. Yeah, I mean Cincinnati is one of the best home run ballparks in the entire league. The Great American Small Park. We joke around and call it. Basically, they have a park factor to righties and lefties that is 20 to 25% higher than league average for home runs. So, definitely a place where you expect runs. Neither one of these two teams is all that good. The pitching isn't that great. I mean, listen, the pitching was better yesterday, and they put up 15 runs between them. So, I like the over in this game.
All right, the over in that one. San Diego and New York, they get back at it today on MLB Network at 105. Paddock and Paxton, the big Maple and Chris Paddock. Yankees minus 136, 8.5 on this one, Benny.
Yeah, these are two pitchers that are both good, but they both also kind of coming off of injuries and are banged up with designations. I don't like to mess with situations like that because, I mean, listen, I love James Paxton. He's been one of my favorite pitchers when healthy in the league for a couple years right now. But I don't know if he's healthy, and I don't like taking guys that aren't healthy because, they could just not have it today. They could be a little rusty as they're trying to get back. And Paddock on the other side is a young kid who's been really, really, really good. But he also has a little bit of an injury situation. So for me, this is one of those games I'm just staying away from.
All right, there you go right there. The A's and the Athletics and the Angels. You got a 3:30 Eastern time start on that one right there. 9.5 is the total. Canning and Megden.
Yeah, I don't really have a strong lean on this one either. I mean, listen, I thought Bassett was going to pitch much better than he did yesterday. So right now, I kind of have a lot of respect for that top of the Angels order. If you're playing DFS, guys like La Stella, Trout, Ohtani are guys that I've been using a lot, and I think we got to throw in there. Ohtani especially. I know he hasn't hit great lately, but the guy's really cheap in DFS. So if you're a DFS guy, Ohtani's price at the very least is something I'm interested in.
What else we got? Seattle and Texas. The Rangers, 9.5 is the total on this one. Smiley and LeBlanc, Seattle and Texas.
Yeah, I think this is an over kind of game. I think there's going to be a lot of runs scored here. Last night, I remember looking at Texas. They had like 5 or 6 runs in the second inning, and then it wound up being like 8 or 9. They're a team that can score. Seattle's an offense that I kind of like. They have a lot of nice pieces as well, especially guys that hit lefties. So this is a game I'm looking for the over.
I can definitely see that one. Cleveland and Boston, that's a 6-10 start as we start to get into the evening slate. 9 is the number on this one, Benny. Boston's a favorite at minus 110. Bieber and Weber.
Yeah, Weber. Honestly, I think Cleveland probably has the better pitching in this game, but I just not a big fan of that Cleveland offense. Overall, the Red Sox don't look that great this year. The Indians have been kind of a disappointment this year as well. I'm staying away from this game. I don't really have a strong lean either way.
I will take a hard pass. Also, St. Louis and Philadelphia, two lovely fan bases. The Cardinals and their issues, and the Philadelphia Phillies, whose issues are something different. They meet down there at Citizens Bank today. 168 is the Phil's number as the favorites. The line is 10. The number is 10.5. Benny.
I like the Phillies a lot here. I'd actually even consider taking the Phillies minus 1.5. Because I do think, the Phillies are, I think they're projected for almost 6 runs today, which is the highest of any game that's not being played in Coors Field on a day. The Phillies stack is going to be very popular in DFS. The kid that's pitching for the Cardinals is making his major league debut. It's his first game stepping up. He does have some talent. Like, he had some nice strikeout numbers in the minors, but he's really been below AA up until the end of last year. And so far this year in AAA, his ERA is like 6. So this is a kid that can definitely get lit up. People are expecting Philly to score some runs. And that's why I said, even if you want better odds than the minus 168, I don't mind the Phillies at minus 1.5 runs either.
All right, there you go right there. Detroit and Baltimore tonight at 7. Carpenter and Means. The Orioles are the favorite. The total is 9.5 in this one. But I just don't like these bad teams.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the Orioles should win this game. It should go over. Means is actually I don't even want to say he's a good pitcher because he's got like a sub-3 ERA right now, but his xFIP is over 5. So really, this is a guy that's just been getting really lucky. Again, he's a young guy, so you expect him to get a little better. I just think it's bad pitching on both sides. I think the easiest way to play this game, Corey, because I agree with you. I mean, Detroit could win this game too because it's just 2 bad teams. The easiest way to play this game is just go with the over because the starter for Detroit sucks, so the Orioles should get some runs, and the Orioles bullpen sucks. So even if Means does pitch decently, which, again, I think he's due for regression, but even if he does pitch decently, Detroit could get some runs off the bullpen at the end. So the over is the way to go here.
Is Miguel Cabrera washed up?
Miguel Cabrera, if you're expecting him to be Triple Crown winner, Miguel Cabrera, he's washed up. He's still a professional hitter. You know what I mean? Like, he's like a guy like Edgar Martinez played till he's 40 because he could smack singles the other way and go with the ball and get walks and get on base. That's the kind of guy Miguel Cabrera is right now. If you're expecting, the 45 home run, contend for a Triple Crown, hit 350 Miguel Cabrera, that guy's not coming back anytime.
Is he owned in 12-team fantasy baseball leagues?
He shouldn't be.
Oh, wow.
He shouldn't be. And again, that's not a knock on him, but between DHs and just regular first basemen, you got a pool of 40, 45 guys there that are playing every day, and 20 to 25 of them probably have more upside than he does.
All right, there you go right there. Toronto and Tampa Bay. Tampa's minus 250, one of the big favorites on the day. Thornton and Snell, 7.5 is the number.
Yeah, I mean, Snell's a beast, and I actually like the Tampa Bay offense here as well. Sneaky stack for DFS. So, yeah, the Tampa Bay side is where you want to be. Do I want to take minus 250? No, not really, but the Tampa Bay side is the right side of this game.
What are we getting on the run line? And on the run line, you're getting minus 122.
For what, 1.5?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. Like, yeah, I guess
you want more than that, I would think, minus 122.
Like, that's
2 runs.
Yeah, I mean, even minus 122, it's not great. Are they home or are they on the road?
They're in Tampa.
Yeah, I never like taking a run line on a home team because a lot of times
– last at bat.
Exactly. Like, if that game is tied and there's bases loaded and somebody hits a single, you win 5-4. And it's like, well, the other 3 guys could have scored 2.
Yeah. No, it's final score. Sorry, buddy. We win that one. San Francisco and Miami. If you don't have nothing to do tonight, the total on this one is 7. San Francisco is actually the favorite. You got Bumgarner and Lopez.
Yeah, I mean, the total's only 7 on this one. Listen, people are going to think I'm crazy when I say this, but, like, I don't even know if it gets to 7. Like, I'm not a big fan of Bumgarner. He's been giving up home runs this year. He hasn't been his best. But the Marlins offense just sucks. Like, you look at – when I break things down, I usually look at the pitchers going on the mound and, like, all right, here's what the pitcher's weaknesses are. And then I try to find hitters that go against them. Like, that's what we do for DFS. I can't find any hitters on the Marlins that – like, Bumgarner hasn't been pitching well, but I don't know who can take advantage of it. Like, do you really want to put, like, Starlin Castro in your lineup or Garrett Cooper or, I don't know, Brian Anderson? Like, most people don't even know who these guys are outside of Castro, and Castro is probably on the wrong side of his career. So, I don't know, man. I really don't have a lean in this game. This game could finish 3-2. It could be ugly, and if you have anything else to do tonight, go do it. Don't watch this game.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Washington, Atlanta. Maybe a little bit better matchup right there. Sanchez and Gausman. Atlanta comes in as the favorite after the loss last night. The total is 10.
Yeah, Sanchez coming off of injury. He was not supposed to start. So when I wrote up the article, I forget who the other guy that's been starting for him was.
Okay.
I wrote him up, so I'll have to go back and change that after we get off here. Listen, I never want to take a guy coming off an injury. I always think guys are a little rusty. They got to prove it to me before I'll put them into my lineups. And then even on the other side of this game, with Gausman, Gausman really – he's been very up and down. He has the ability to pitch well sometimes. He's pitching better than he did when he was with the Orioles. But the numbers still don't really look all that good. So I'm not on either side of this game. What was the total over-under?
10.
Oh, that's high. I was going to say, if it was over 8.5, I'd take a chance at 10. I think this is just a hard pass for me.
Yeah, Chicago and Houston tonight. This is the ESPN game. You got Houston comes in minus 108, which is pretty good. The total is 9 on this one. Hendricks and Miley on the mound.
All right, so you're going to think I'm crazy, but I love the Cubs in this game.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, and here's the reason why I'm going to say it too. Altuve's on the IL. On the injured reserve. You got Springer on injured reserve, and now you have Correa, who was out yesterday, and they're saying he's probably going to go on the injury list too. So now you're talking about 3 of the biggest bats that you have in that lineup, 3 of the top guys in that order that aren't going to be there. Kyle Hendricks is the kind of guy that he's a much better real-life pitcher than he is a fantasy pitcher, right? He's not a strikeout guy, but he has a very low whip. He doesn't walk guys. He doesn't let guys get on base. He doesn't give up home runs. It's very tough to put up a good game against Kyle Hendricks. So I'm not looking at the Houston bats. I do like the Cubs bats more, especially the right-handers. A guy like Chris Bryant might have some of the best numbers in all of baseball against left-handed pitching. So I like the righties on the Cubs here tonight, and I do like the Cubs more than I like the Astros.
All right, there we go. Kansas City and Chicago. Once again, catching a stinker with this one right here. Sparkman and Lopez, 9.5 is the total. The White Sox are the favorite.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Ronaldo Lopez has 2 or 3 good games this season, and the rest of the games he's been god-awful, dreadful, horrible. He's a guy that I'd be willing to play against tonight. I got a good bet here in this one for you, Corey. Hunter Dozier home run prop, I think, is one of those ones that we want to be looking at here today. I like Hunter Dozier a lot to go yard in this game.
All right, so the Hunter Dozier home run prop, I will keep an eye on that one. Arizona and Colorado, 11 is the total in this one. Ray and Hoffman, Arizona's the favorite.
Yeah, Arizona should be the favorite. I mean, Robbie Ray is a pretty good pitcher. He had a decent start in Colorado. Obviously, Colorado's not an easy place to pitch, and you do have a couple righties like Arenado and Story who absolutely crush lefties, 400-plus WOBA since 2016, high ISO scores, guys WRC plus scores in the 150, 170. So well above average against lefties. With that being said, though, Hoffman is one of the worst pitchers in Major League Baseball right now. He has been for the last 2 or 3 years. I mean, and since I think he came up in 2016, every year since 2016, the ERA has been over 5. The xFIP's been over 5. He's just not a very good pitcher. So this is another game in Colorado. What's the over-under? Is it 12?
11.
11. What's the team total for Arizona?
I cannot see that number right here.
All right, so if the Arizona team total is over 5.5 and they're not juicing the hell out of it, that's one that I really want to take there because, again, Hoffman is horrible. So I like the first 5 on Arizona because I think that Robbie Ray will limit the damage, and I think Hoffman's going to get lit up. So Arizona first 5, Arizona over on the total of this game overall, and Arizona to win. So those are all my bets.
Hit up pretty big time right here. Final contest of the night, the New York Mets and the LA Dodgers, Syndergaard and Buehler. 7.5 is the number on this one, Denny.
Yeah, I mean, Syndergaard has not been as good as he's been in the past, but, he doesn't suck. And that's the thing that people need to realize. It's some of these big-time pitchers, just because they're not going out there and throwing a sub-2 ERA and, keeping the whip at 1 or below it and striking out over a guy per inning, they're still way better than the average pitcher out there, right? So, I mean, for DFS, I'm not looking to be heavy on the Dodgers. But honestly, I do like Buehler more than I like Syndergaard right now. Syndergaard seems to be a little bit off from his best. And I just really don't like the Mets offense. So the Dodgers would be the side of this game I'd want to be on. But I do like the under. I don't know if I'd bet the under, but I think it's going to be low scoring. It's probably going to be a 4-2 game or a 3-1 game, something like that.
There you go right there. That's the breakdown of today's Major League Baseball slate. Don't forget Elite Sports for everything that you need, whether it's DFS over at Guru Elite. And then it's the Elite Sports Betting. And don't forget fantasyguru.com, Fantasy Guru site. That's 2019 fantasy football season is soon approaching. Benny, you got a big piece of chicken before we get out of here?
Yeah, my big piece of chicken's going to Derek Dietrich yesterday. This is a guy. This is a guy that got cut from the Miami Marlins because they didn't want to pay him the $2 million that they owed him in his roster salary. Now he's hitting cleanup in Cincinnati, the best home run hitting ballpark in the majors. He went yard not once, not twice, but 3 times yesterday. Put up about 66 FanDuel points. Somewhere around the same over on DraftKings. You did not take down a big prize last night without having Derek Dietrich on your roster at 7% owned or less.
No doubt. So that's 2 big pieces of chicken because I did see that last night also. He gets my nod also for having a good night right there, helping everybody win a little bit of cash last night. My main man, Benny Ricciardi, Corey Paulson, the fantasy executive. We are out.